Hi, I'm Rituparna on behalf of SHEROES. I'd like to welcome Swati Bhargava. Swati is a co-founder of cashkaro.com and pouring pounds. Wow, I wish I could stand under the building from where you're pouring pounds, Swati. So can you tell us something about yourself and what exciting work that you do?
Yeah. So, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you all. I've met Sairi before, who's obviously the founder of Shiro's, and it was great to meet her. And I think what you guys are doing is incredible. So my background is that I am from a small town called Ambala. It's near Chandigarh, in the north, and I grew up there. And then I got a scholarship to study in Singapore for my A levels. So I did that, which was for my 11th and 12th. And then I got a scholarship to the London School of Economics. So I went there and I studied mathematics and economics honors. Um, After that, I graduated and started work at Goldman Sachs in investment banking. So I did that for 5 years. First in the investment banking team in the structured credits kind of group. So that was an interesting time because that was the time when Europe was having all the problems about bank capital and regulatory, and this space was kind of hot. And then I wanted to actually leave Goldman after 4 years because I just thought my body needed a break. It was just really long hours. I used to work from like 8 a.m. till almost 2 a.m. every day for 4 years, and then but Goldman tried to offer me something different to stay. So I tried out joining the executive office. So I was working with the two CEOs of Goldman Europe, Michael Sherwood and Richard Nora, and I managed their client engagements. So that was interesting because it was a very different role that came up, and it involved speaking with all the senior people in the firm to understand where they want senior leadership of Goldman to be talking to their clients, what kind of messages to give. So it was quite interesting to do that. And then I did that for about a year, and I thought, okay, but this is still not it. Like, maybe I really want to do something of my own. And my husband Rohan has always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so he started looking around, and we've been in London at this point for about 10 years, right? And so obviously the business ideas that we came across were things that we wanted to start in the UK. And Rohan has always been in the hedge fund finance space as well. So we came across this idea of cashback, which we loved because we thought it was so simple, and people are shopping online. Online shopping is going to keep on growing. So why not look at something that offers everyday savings to people? So with all of that in mind, we started pouring pounds, our business in 2011. So I kind of became an entrepreneur by chance because it was like, I wanted to leave Goldman, I wanted to do something else. But when I left, I did not know what it was that I'm going to do. I just thought that, look, if something has to happen, I have to do it now. Otherwise, I can always come and get a job at some point anyway. So it wasn't, I don't know, maybe some entrepreneurs are different, like they know what they want and they know everything from the start. I wasn't like that. And Rohan was more, has always been my inspiration, and he always knew that what he wanted. So it was nice to have that kind of, companionship as well, which can go into being running a business together. And but once we started the business and everything, I loved it so much. Like I love being an entrepreneur so much that now I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I think, but realistically, you only get to this stage after you worked for a few years. Otherwise, I don't think you might not have all the right skills or experience to run it as well. But anyway, so we started pouring pounds in 2011, and the idea was that we tied up with all the top UK brands like Marks and Spencer, Debenhams, Expedia, and we featured all their latest coupons. Plus, from the commission we were getting from brands, we would give extra cash back as well to the customer. So, for example, if you went to Marks and Spencer from pouring pounds and shop, you would now get an extra 10% cash back on top of all the other discounts running. So it was doing really well, and every time our team was in India, so every time we would come to India, everybody here would say, "Oh, why don't we do cashback in India? Of course, it is going to do well." And I think we were just kind of waiting for the e-commerce economy in India to mature a little bit more and come to a stage where it's growing as fast as it is right now. And we thought it was the right time to launch in India last year. So we launched cashkaro.com about just over a year back in India, and the response we've achieved that we've got here has been phenomenal. I mean, to the extent that Rohan and I have moved from London now to Delhi because the business is growing. We've got a large team of about 35 to 40 people, and they're all amazing, and it's really fun to work together. And I think the business has legs, so it prompted that move. And what Cashkaro does is basically, it's a great way to save money when you shop online. So in India now we've tied up with everyone from all the e-commerce brands like Myntra, Jabong, Amazon, Yatra, Make My Trip, Domino's, Paytm, First Cry, anything that you buy online, we work with those websites, and we have all their latest coupons which are free for you to use and save money. Plus, if you go to these sites from Cashkaro, you get extra cash back on your purchase. So, for example, if you go to Jabong from Cashkaro and shop, you now get extra 10% cash back. Plus, we'll have a 30-35% off coupon as well. So, I mean, the deal is too good. Like, I personally, when we are promoting the deals also, I'm just like, damn, this is so good. So, half the time, the fact that I love shopping as well, it kind of helps in the business because, I feel excited to promote something that I also love. So, it's been a good journey.
Okay, great. It is because I think going by your enthusiasm, I can see that you're excited about your career and the way it's panned out, and you should be. But okay, let's start with this first question that you started off as investment banking, and then you moved towards an entrepreneurial journey. And you mentioned it that you didn't think of starting something. It was your husband who had this creative or other this itch to do something of his own. How when and where did you realize that yes, you're made for it, or that you have something, or your talent pool has, or your skills have something that can add a lot of value to your business, the business that you co-create? Because a lot of times it happens that when we come from a certain background, we tend to think that, oh, should I do a business where my skill set are going to be used, or my skills, or
Yeah.
do I need to develop new skill sets? So this is, I'm talking about the reluctant entrepreneurs who think that, okay, I have a job and it's really good, it's giving me the great bucks, but do I want to plunge into a world of uncertainty? So that kind of a mindset where the person comes from. So would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting that if somebody had asked me this when I was actually at Goldman, that, hey, can you go run an online website? I would have thought that no. I mean, I'm coming from mathematics, economics, finance, doing, Excel models all day long. And now, I mean, my team will tell you that now I'm like asking them for, okay, what are the Excel formulas because I've forgotten it, but like I come from that background, which was very finance driven. And but as soon as but when Rohan and I started discussing the whole idea, somehow I was like, oh, but you know what, the website should look like this, there are these colors, and we should have this marketing message on it. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, now why don't you send an email to people? Sorry. And I started drafting the emails, and I was like, oh, actually, I can write pretty well. And then, once we started talking to people about negotiating deals, getting them on board, I so realized that, oh, actually, I can sell to people as well. So for me, it was almost a journey of starting, not actually thinking that much, to be honest, before starting on do I have the skills or not. It was more like, yes, I think it's a good idea, and we're going to go ahead and do it. And everything else, I think I just developed along the way, or I discovered something new about myself, which I never knew. Whereas now, like a lot of the people in India who we work with, like I have good business relationship with them, whether it's journalists, whether it's retailers who we work with, and I've realized that, okay, actually a lot of things I learned at Goldman, in terms of client engagement when I was doing it for the CEOs, or a bit of training that came, that actually is there inside you somewhere, but you are not able to put it down on paper and say, oh, I'm going to be good at this thing because this is a skill I've learned. So I think if you have a gut feel about the business that, okay, this is a good idea and I know I can do it, then I think the skills will come. Because skills are a very ever evolving kind of process, and that's when it's fun, when you start learning something as well. So now that we write email copy, and suddenly I realized that because at Goldman we had all these years of very attention to detail training, that same skill set kind of transferred over here. When I would look at a website design, I'll be, no, these are not, this thing is not lining up. Oh, there are typos here. So it's kind of same thing which comes. So you might think you don't have the skills, but I think you will find that you do. Or even if you don't, then I think you will develop them. So I wouldn't unless it's something technical, like, yes, can I code a website? I can't, because I'm not a technical developer, and that's a very specialized skill. If I want to be an entrepreneur, doesn't mean I need to go and learn exactly all of that, because we need to have a good tech team, because then you need to have specialists in your team. So I don't think you need to stop or shirk from doing something that you believe is a good idea, that you believe you can execute well, from not having some of these specific skills.
Right. So we have a first question from Hiren Nakua, who says, how long has been since you started cashkaro.com? You started pouring pounds before that, right? So pouring pounds is the first
Yeah.
company that you founded, and then you moved on Cashkaro. So you want to talk about your timelines and what led to the formation, the birth of pouring pounds, and how you brought it to India and it's Cashkaro, and how you're running two companies, at the same time, more or less around in the same business. But how are you doing that?
In terms of timelines, I think, yeah, Pouring Pound started about 3 years back, and we launched Cashkaro about 14, 15 months back. So I left Goldman in mid 2010. About a year later or so, we started Pouring Pounds, and then almost 2 years or a little less than 2 years after that, we started Cashkaro. So that was last year in April. So now it's been, just over a year. What led to the birth of Pouring Pounds was the same whole journey that we've talked about, and the basic idea behind all of that was our belief that it's a good business, that we think it makes business sense. It's something that customers would like, because when at that time in 2011 Groupon was really big, and a lot of online deals were happening on spas, restaurants, massages, very bespoke stuff. And Rohan and I always thought that, well, what about savings on everyday things, on your travel booking, on your hotel, on your pizza order, mobile recharge, things that you do every day, because that's when you really help someone save money. So because we wanted to go into that everyday space, cashback was interesting, because cashback is always available, no matter whether there's a coupon or not, or whether there's a sale or not. If there is, then this would only be on top of it. So so it was our belief in the core idea, and the core business that led to the birth of the business. And the last part of your question, how do we manage businesses in two geographies? That is interesting, but the thing is, I think there are more synergies than anything else out of actually having a business in two geographies. So right now, the team that manages UK is also based in Bhargava itself. So we all sit in the same place, which is. And I think as long as you have good people in your team, that's what really comes down to. Our team is amazing, and I think they all do a great job, and that helps. Otherwise, Skype has been great, because until we moved to India, just about 8-9 months back, we were doing everything on Skype always. So people find it hard to believe that for like 2 years or more, Rohan and I were in London, and the only people in London for a UK business, and the whole team was in Gurgaon and Chennai, where we have a development office as well. So managing across geographies, I think Skype was good. Setting, being in touch with people all the time. Obviously, we work India hours, so that helps, because otherwise there can always be a time difference thing. So I think if you work hard and people know exactly what they're doing, if there are specific projects, specific deliverables discussed, then it becomes easy. But there is a lot of synergy between having two businesses of similar type in different geographies. Like, first, when we used to do things in UK, we learned how the entire affiliate marketing system was working in UK, because when we brought it to India, Cashkaro, we are the largest cashback site in India, plus we were one of the early ones as well. So right now, when we speak with retailers, we actually give a lot of examples of, well, in the UK, this is how they do it, and they've been doing it for 10 years, so maybe this is a good process or good policy to adapt. So I think there is some learning that comes out of it, which people are welcome to exploring and understanding as well. So that's good. Then on the marketing side as well, we've learned that, in the UK, when we marketed using certain lines, when we did certain email templates performed well, certain contests, certain responses, because ultimately the consumer, they're different, that, okay, they are in UK and in India. but the guy who wants to save money is thinking the same way. So very often the way we sell is also similar. So we constantly take learnings from both the geographies and apply to each other.
Right. Um, how the
Sorry.
industry is perceiving coupon side versus cashback sides? Asked Babu Pumalai. Normally, when people buy products, they look for coupons and go directly to Coupon Nation, etc. Are you growing beyond coupon sites and stick to the consumer minds? Are you? Yeah.
Uh, so your voice broke out a little bit in between. So how is the industry perceiving cashback
Perceiving
sites versus coupon sites,
coupon
right?
sites. Yes. Yes.
I think, to be honest, from our experience over the last year or so, um, cashback sites have got a huge response from the customer and from the retailer both. The reason being that for the customer, right now, yes, they are used to going to a coupon site and getting a coupon. But gradually, what people are learning is that if I go to a cashback site, I not only get that coupon, plus I'm getting extra cashback on top. So I found a partner who's actually sharing their commission with me. That's what the customer understands. And I think once they try a cashback site, then they have no reason to actually go to a coupon site. Because, for example, on Cash Karo, you'll find that if you look at a Jabong, for example, or a Myntra or Amazon, we will have all the coupons which are listed on any other coupon site, which are usually the same as on the retailer site as well. So we have all those coupons. Plus, from the cash commission that we are getting from the retailer, we are giving you extra cashback as well. So now you can get cashback and coupons both, and which makes it the cheapest way to shop online. So I think from the customer's perspective, once they shop through a cashback site, they know that I can't get a better deal anywhere else, because everyone, whether it's a price comparison site or a coupon site, they're all going to keep the commission. Whereas a cashback site like Cashkaro will share it. So I think that's why Cashkaro has seen the response that it has, I think. And from a retailer's perspective as well, sorry, from the retailer's perspective as well, I think they enjoy working with us, not only because we are driving sales and revenue to them, but I think because we work with brands as partners to really understand what is it that they want to achieve apart from only a sale. Like, for example, we did a campaign with First Cry where they wanted to get the order value raised of the orders they were getting. So we started promoting cashback offers which applied over a certain minimum amount of order, or coupons as well we had for the same thing. And that actually helped raise it, because sometimes you think that, okay, if I spend 500 rupees, I'm not getting anything, but if I spend 600 rupees, I'm going to get 150 rupees cash back. I may as well spend that extra. So sometimes people think of it like that. So we work very closely with brands to run promotions, run contests, run co-branded activity which they're happy with, because I think ultimately they're getting a good ROI and a good response from the customers who we bring, because they are actually serious about shopping. That's why they've come through a cashback site.
Right. Who doesn't love shopping? But at the end of the day, when you start a venture, you obviously have a few preset tools with which you test whether this is worth it in the market, or should I get into a new venture and become an turn entrepreneur. But if going back to your own experience and having worked with your husband, could you just list out about top 5 things that a person should do once they have a business idea, and how do they break it up into real deliverables and work towards it? What did you do? So, how did you realize that this is how there is a market for this? So let's give our viewers some tips out here.
Okay, so I think after you have a business idea, so if you talk of top 5 things, like you said, the first thing I would say is to do a lot of research for it. Really go into spending time and doing market research on competitor analysis, who else is doing it, what kind of market appetite for this product is there, what do you think, and this is all at research stage. It's basically you and Google essentially, and I think everything else will happen after that. So it's spending enough time at this research stage, because there are actually a lot of resources out there, and very often you'll find that you can even go into finding company filings for competitors to see revenue model, to see how whether things are adding up. So I think first thing would be to go in and do a lot of market research to determine a gap in the market, and to determine the market size and appetite. And the second thing would be to actually look at people who are doing it. So it's a little different from market research, because I think this kind of feeds to saying ki, let me analyze the business models of people who are doing something different. Are they making money? What sort of money are they actually spending to get to acquire customers? What sort of money are they spending to acquire a sale? And what is their typical lifetime value of a customer? Are they managing to keep the customer? What kind of sticky rate, like retention, is there? Repeat orders are there? Or so determining a lot of that, and you can go into finding company filings for competitors to see how the numbers are adding up, because obviously that will give you an idea of the economic potential of that business, and whether it will make sense. How much money can you actually invest? Do you actually need to raise funding? So it's a lot of that. The other thing is to look at global comparisons. I think that's really interesting, because especially in a market like India, a lot of ideas which have been done outside and they've done well, they often tend to come to India, because the growth path is a little so to speak, it kind of follows what happens in the West as well. So for example, cashback is is almost $1 billion business in the US. Ebates.com, Retail Me Not. There are a lot of success stories. In UK, there's Quidco. There's again a lot of cashback sites as well. So when we had to bring it to India, we were looking at, okay, how are these sites doing in different geographies? What's happening in China, in Russia, in different countries as well. So I think being able to look at specific companies and their records and their growth kind of gives you good insight. And I think you can also track growth by looking at press coverage of of companies, because nowadays people are fairly open to releasing a fair amount of stuff, because the reality is, yes, we will disclose numbers, but if somebody has to copy, they'll either do it anyway, or it's going to be a lot of effort to put it back up anyway. So I think people are quite open about the information that is also out there. Then I would say that in terms of figuring out whether your idea is right, look at doing a customer survey, or figuring out who the target audience is going to be for your product, and getting feedback from that audience. It could be in the form of a survey, it could be a brainstorming session, it could be a what's that called, like focus groups. A lot of people do focus groups nowadays. I've attended so many where people invite and say, okay, this is my idea and this is what I want to do, so now what do you think? So it's like a discussion of people who are your prospective customers, and that gives you insight on whether there is really a need. Because if you can't identify the need to be important and right there, then obviously it's hard to sell something that people don't really need. But I mean, not to say there isn't a market for that, because a lot of the luxury market falls in that segment and it still does well. But it's important to basically get feedback from customers. Then I think the thing would be to think about how you're going to do it, and the team for it, because it's hard, I think, to be an entrepreneur if you're totally on your own, because which is what being an entrepreneur is all about. Yes, doing things on your own, but I think if you can have a co-founder, the journey actually becomes more fun, and you can complement each other in a lot of ways as well. So I mean, Rohan and I have been working together for over 3 years now, and I think it works because we both have complementary skill sets. We understand and respect each other's skills, and know that both of us are important for the business to do well. So I think in having the two people together, it's good, because you can brainstorm, and there are very many times when things don't go so well, and at that time, when one person is really down, you need the other to kind of pull you up as well. And there's just so many frustrating things that happen that it's very difficult for somebody who's outside that business to understand. So if you can find a co-founder, I think that works. But obviously, it has to be someone who you can trust and get along with as well. And think a little bit about, obviously, about the kind of money you need to start that business as well, and how quickly can the returns come. Because while e-commerce in India is booming, and other industries also, all industries are finding it that that the investor sentiment is good. You can raise money, but it's certainly not guaranteed. And the thing is that a lot of this money is available after your business is actually shown some concept. So it's always hard to raise that first round of funding and do that seed round, that angel investing. It's not so easy at that stage, even in India, to get money. You get the money when you can show to a VC that, here, I'm already getting my sales coming in, I already have an inflow of cash, and at that point, you need money to scale up. So you have more growth and scale capital available versus seed capital. So I think thinking about all of these things is important to see whether you really want to go and execute that idea.
We do have a question from Rajaharat Majeti. It says, with how much capital did you start cashkaro.com? And could you talk about that bit, your own money which you were pumping into your venture versus what you raised through venture capitalists?
Yeah, I mean, see, when we started the business, we started with pouring pounds in the UK, and because Cashkaro has evolved out of a lot of that infrastructure, which was already there for pouring pounds. Because the same office expanded, the same business model. The initial things always vary. So initially, we started with about I think close to, yeah. I mean, because for the first year or so, we were funding it all on our own out of savings. And then we raised £50,000 at London Business School as a small seed investment. They have this pitching event where you come and pitch for your idea, and we raised 50,000 there. And so initially we had spent, I think we must have spent close to about 70 to 80,000 pounds anyway of our own, in trying to incur all the expenses, the team, the everything over the first year. And then we raised £50,000 as an angel, and then last year we raised a big round which was almost £500,000, so that was about 5 crores or so last year that we raised from investors in UK for the growth of cashkaro.com. So that is basically our kind of first big round.
Right. When let's say you are a woman entrepreneur and you work very closely with your husband, you also have a very young and dynamic team. How does it work? I mean, you have in terms of your workforce, are there more women, more men? What kind of environment do you promote at Cashkaro, and how do you work?
Um, I think for me, through my entire career journey and even now in the team and all, it's never really been about, am I a woman and does that mean good or bad? Or is that even a factor or a thing to really think about from my personal perspective? So, but so between Rohan and I, our work is divided based on our skills, on what we think that we will do well. So I manage more of social media, PR kind of stuff. Rohan manages a lot of the business development, technology, marketing. A lot of those areas are common as well between us. In our team, we have more men than women. I think that is probably reflective of most companies in India. There are just lesser women in the workforce. Lesser women go to really good universities. Lesser women are there in jobs. So I think that difference will remain. It's not only India. I think it's the same abroad. At Goldman Sachs, in my team for the first 4 years, I was the only girl, and there were 6 other guys. So it was a team of 7 people, on the structured product desk, and I was the most junior person. So I always had these 6, 7 guys to report to. But I always felt that. There was no, I mean, I never felt like, okay, I need to be different because I'm a woman. Sometimes, yes, I would want to know about what's happening in football or something because it helped to be a little more part of that, that circle, if you will. But I don't think those things are hard, and that's a personal choice. So I don't think the workforce kind of forces you to do that. But at Cashkaro, we have a really fun working environment. Most people get along with each other quite well. In fact, I'd say everyone does that. And while women are few, I think they make themselves heard. So some of them might be on this hangout. I don't know. If they are, maybe I should ask them to say a line or so about how their working experience is. But from my perspective, I make sure that because women are fewer in number, they by no means feel that they are fewer or that they are not heard or anything that they want is I mean, if they want something which is different from the men, which usually doesn't happen because I think they're all just so good friends that they kind of take care of each other as well. So I think we encourage that kind of friendship, and I think that's worked out well for us overall as well. But most importantly, I think women have settled in well because they make themselves heard. So if they have a point, they don't just keep quiet and say, oh no, like how do I say it or what do I say? There are some women who are quieter, and I think if they don't really want to say it out to others, they'll probably tell me or they'll tell another one of their women colleagues who are, so to speak, more vocal than them. And I think they find a good balance.
Right.
Sanya, are you here on the on the Hangout? I don't know. Is it possible, Ritu, for somebody to speak in?
No, nobody can speak in unless we have admin rights, which we don't have. Only the two of us can speak. It's a big
Ah,
problem.
okay, okay, fine.
But they
Okay,
can
okay. I
only
thought maybe we can ask, but it's okay. I'm sure they'll say the same thing that I've said.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any future plans of integrating local deals with Cash Karo so that it would become a single place to look for coupons, deal, and also get cash back? Isn't it nice? Asks Babu Pumalai.
What was the first part of the question? What is the plan?
Yeah. Do you have future plans of integrating local deals with Cash Karo so that it would become a single place to look for coupons, deal, and also get cash back? Isn't it nice?
It is nice, and therefore we are planning to do that. Not only more than local, actually, our focus is on product deals. So I think what you'll see at Cashkaro probably in 3 4 months time or so is that once you come on cashkaro.com, right now you can see deals and cashback offers by all retailers like Jabong, Myntra, Yatra, Make My Trip. But when you in the new version of our site, you will be able to search for any product that you want to buy, and on that product you can see what is the price it's available at different stores, and what is the cashback and coupons on it. So for example, if you come and search for a Samsung Galaxy, you can see that it's available at eBay, Traders, Amazon, Flipkart, for these kind of different prices, and these are the cashbacks available on each of them and the coupons available for each of them. So you can make your purchasing decision right there at cashkaro.com, and when you click out from there, you obviously get extra cashback as well along with the coupons. So we're trying to make this as a one place where you can see all the products, compare prices, have cashback and coupons as well in one place, because right now I think it's a little fragmented in terms of information you get from different sites, but I think that'll be a somewhat of a game changer in how people shop online. So we hope to have that launched in the next few months on cashkaro.com.
By the way, Mehak Khurana has joined in and she says, we love working at Cash Karo. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Meg.
Um, okay. How are you facing the competition from other cashback and coupon sites? Rajat Bharat Majeti.
um, Competition from other cashback sites, competition is good. I think it helps in making more people aware of the idea. Are we worried about it? Not really, I think, because we are the largest cashback site in terms of whether it is number of registered users or it is the revenue and the sales we are driving to our retailers, and we get treated very well, by our retailer partners, and I think that's just a testament to show that they recognize the value that we're adding to their business. I think that is that aspect is okay. Competition from coupon sites, it's a little different concept, although we are in the same space. So coupon sites have been in India around for longer, so I think there's more awareness about that, and people are more used to that idea. I personally think that when somebody has shopped through Cashkaro, they are getting sorry, because they're getting coupons and cashback both. I think very often we find people switching from a coupon site to cashkaro.com because you're getting the coupon here anyway, plus you're getting the extra cashback. So I think that competition is, will always be there between the two sites. But because I believe we offer more to the customer and significantly more back to the customer, I think we'll end up retaining that customer if once they've tried us. So the challenge for Cashkaro is to, grow more, grow faster, get more awareness out so that people know about us more and try us. Because I'm sure that once they've tried us or shop through us, they'll stay.
How will you convert a traditional shopper like me? Because I like the whole experience of walking into a shop and buying something, trying something out, and then picking up, looking it, comparing it. So I'm a reluctant online shopper, but like I'll give you an example. Like yesterday, I walked into Big Bazaar to do my monthly shopping, grocery shopping, and I happened to, obviously when you walk into a Big Bazaar, you shop a lot. So I shopped quite a lot. So and I asked them, कुछ discount नहीं है? So this guy says, हाँ मैडम आज Wednesday है, Wednesday बहुत discount होता है, हर चीज पर discount होता है. So I said, okay, fine, that's nice. तो कितना discount है? So he said, wait, let me first bill it up, and then you've got lots of items. And it was 6 bags
Yeah.
worth of items and a huge long bill. And I said, okay, what's the bill? And he said 8,400. I said, okay. And what's the discount? He said, the 320 rupees. and I was really upset that there was 320 rupees against a huge UPI. How will you convert, let's say, a reluctant online shopper like me to use cashkaro.com?
I would say, and this is more about, I guess, you trying on online shopping in the first place, and I think that's where you probably need a little more convincing. So so while Cash Karo does come in, I think first we have to get you to try online shopping, which I assure you will enjoy after you do it, because firstly you'll realize that you don't need to go. So let's say Big Bazaar is different because maybe you're going there once in a few months or something, to stock up or something. But now you can sit at home. You can order from Amazon.in all your toiletries, all the toothpaste, the washing stuff at home, like whatever you need. You don't need to go out, because I think that to go out shopping in India is or anywhere for that matter is not so easy, because first you have to go get stuck in traffic, then you'll queue up to pay something, and you only realize later on that actually you didn't even have clarity on how much discount there is, whereas online you can see very clearly exactly how much am I going to be paying. So I would say that a good place for you to get started would be on things which are which you know anyway. Like you always use the Colgate toothpaste, you always buy shampoo from Pantene. So things that you want anyway. That's a great place to start, because they come to your house usually with free delivery, and within like 3-4 days, sometimes even lesser. I mean, at Jabong I ordered something on Saturday night, and on Monday morning I had it in my house. So I was thinking, how do you even do it? There's a Sunday in between, but there's no concept of that. So I think you'll enjoy it because of the faster timelines, the convenience of it, the hassle-free nature of not being going all the way to buy something small. And getting more discounts is going to be cheaper. So for example, on Amazon we give about 10% cashback on a lot of things. So you would get that 10% off, and plus there are so many other deals and going on. I mean, if you see healthcard.com, for so many brands they have like a 342 or 20% off or 30% off, GNC protein supplements, everything. So the discounts are actually so big. In our team, I think one of my colleagues bought these Puma shoes the other day, which in the mall were available for 1800 rupees, and online after cashback he got it for 800. So the price difference is also huge. I mean, I bought a Fabinda kurta for 1500 in the mall, and after I was like, and this was, I don't know why I bought it in the mall, because I think because I was with my mom or something, because usually I don't really shop offline. I hate trying in store anyway, because I think that's a royal waste of time as well. So, and the same thing, that kurta, I bought it at Myntra for my mom again, and it was at 800. 800 versus 1500. The discount, the price difference is huge. So I think a traditional retail shopper will start moving online. So for you, all these reasons are there. Plus, I think if you start off with something standardized, the other thing that I would suggest for someone like you who wants to try online shopping is that, let's say if you feel that, okay, at Jabong, let me go online and I select all these different items, which of clothing. You'll find that there's a lot more variety. You're sitting, on your living room couch, and you're going through all these trends and designs which are going on. Otherwise, you would have to go in the mall, and I guarantee you will pay more in the mall, because every time I've compared prices online versus mall, the difference is huge. But the thing is, you can return these items. If they don't fit you, you can return it in a 30-day hassle-free policy. You will order it on Jabong, you will sit at home, the item will come there. If you don't like it, they will come and pick it up for free. So that is as simple as it gets. And then you can wear it at home, you can show it to whoever you want and get all the views and opinion. Sometimes you go to the mall, you buy something, ghar aake you show it to people and they're like, "Arey, ye kya le liya?" Whereas then then you have to go all the way back to return. So I think online makes life a lot easier. And I think once you start shopping, sometimes people have a little bit of hesitation to start, but I think it's one of those things that once you start online, you won't be able to stay without it. And the price difference is so clear that nowadays when you go to the mall and you want to buy a mobile phone, for example, the guy will and if you tell him कि अरे Flipkart पे तो इतने का मिल रहा है, तो he'll say कि हाँ ठीक है मैंने check कर लिया, लेकिन even they are checking, they know that online prices are cheaper. So sometimes even they try to match it online, but on top of that, obviously you're getting cashback and coupons as well. So it'll work out cheaper anyway. So especially for phones, I mean, if new launches keep coming out all the time on Amazon, Flipkart, and you don't need to go and queue up outside the store to get it today only. You just pre-order it, just order it online. as soon as it launches, it's going to be in your hand. So, are you convinced?
Yes, I'm convinced that you're doing a great marketing job for a sales job for your partners out there, your network partners that you have for Cash Karo, and I can see why you're so good at convincing everyone and let us join hands with you and
Yeah, thank you.
use us to get more customers, which is a good thing. So let me just try Cash Karo today itself, and I'll tell you how it was. Okay, thank you
Yeah,
so much,
sure.
Swati. It was lovely having you over, and happy shopping. I think that's what we would tell ourselves
Thank you
after
so
this.
much. We say happy shopping, happy saving, and happy earning via Cash Karo.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much, and thank you everyone for joining in for this Shiro's chat with Swati Bhargav.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.